Hey guys, it's Julien, and today I am currently moving studios, so you can see it's a little bit messy, as I've been for like a month or two now. But we're going to be talking about how I made my new track, My Eyes. This track just dropped on my label, Reflection. The link is at the top of the description. If you haven't already, go check the track out. Grab it on Beatport. If you bought it on Beatport, or if you do after seeing this video, you can send me an email or a DM with your purchase confirmation, and I will give you a free gift. But yeah, link is at the top of the description. You heard a little bit of the track in the intro. Again, I really appreciate all the support on my new release, guys. To go along with this video, I've also got the project file and the samples and the MIDI and presets. Literally everything from the track is available right at the top of the description as well. So you can get everything from the track, literally exactly how it is released on Beatport, and kind of learn from it and be able to work and make your own track. So yeah, link to everything is at the top of the description. Thank you so much for the support, guys, for grabbing the track and grabbing the project file. Or either or is great too. And yeah, let's dive in on how I made it. So, the track is 132 BPM, and right off the bat, I was trying to go a little bit faster with this one, you know. I'm trying to work it a little bit closer to hard techno, but obviously, like, we can't just go up to 144 BPM with this style. So, you know, this is kind of the next best thing, but essentially, we start up here with the kick and the bass. And since you can hear what's happening, is there's kind of these three main layers that you're hearing all the way throughout, which is going to be this. Just our main kick. All this is it's actually just a kick loop that I use shaper box on. And you can see we're taking that so it's just a kick. So that's like a nice fat kick that I've gotten there. And then we're layering it with this little, which yeah, you can hear that's just like a little, and then I've just got the mids and highs from that. And yeah, so that's also got shaper box on it. And you can see that one's a little bit shorter. And then the bass. So the goal with this track is I wanted to make a Reese bass that kind of worked in the same place where a rumble bass would work. And I think I accidentally deleted this too. The last detail was just this. So essentially, all it is it's just playing one note the whole way through, right? We're in the key of G sharp, so it's just playing that. And then it's a pretty simple serum patch too. Like if you look at this, you can see, yeah, it's just two saw waves. The secret to this one though is it's, you know, as you would imagine, just a unison saw wave kind of bass, right? But then what we do is we add an extra waveform on top of that, so it's this saw wave, which doesn't have any unison. And I'll show you the reason why we do that. So here is just the unison saw wave, and then with the non-unison saw wave layered in. So you can hear it gives you a really fat sound, and especially if you're not filtering it. It just gives you that really full sound. So we've got that. And then you can see I've also got a sub oscillator in there. And then no effects. But then we're just using the filter here. I've got another low pass filter afterwards to take out some of those highs that got through the other filter. We've got it being sidechained. And then I just have an EQ, which is cutting out everything below 25 hertz. Just kind of cutting out some of those low bass frequencies that we're not really hearing anyway. I'm using this EQ3 to get just the low end. And then finally the utility, which is converting it to mono. So that's the main kick, is those three layers. And also you notice it's very important to convert this to mono. So we've got that. But then there's also these three little bass sounds that kind of jump around those. And I'll just play it with the top kick. And then over here you get. So you can see like this last one is just this synth tom going through some delay, and I distorted it to kind of make it my own a little bit. This one, I'm actually just compressing it a little to make it a little bit more, like kind of bring out the middle of the sound. And then this one's just dry with a bandpass filter on it. So yeah, it's simple stuff, but these add a lot of movement to the low end. And you pretty much just do them like once every 2 bars, and that's it. So we've got those, and then on the group here, it's mostly just, so all it is, it's just this EQ, which is cutting out the low frequencies that we wouldn't be hearing anyway. I've got a limiter, which is kind of gluing all of this together. Here's without it. And then with it, you can hear it just gives it that extra push. And again, that's one of those kinds of things that some people might say you don't want to do, but it really works to make your kick and your bass and even that other kick layer kind of all come together as one, as long as you don't do too much. And also, like, you know, at the end of the day, if it sounds good, it is good. But then these here, we're just using these to kind of make it disappear in some places. Like this high pass filter and the low pass, you can see, are working together there in the break to make the kick like really slowly disappear. And even like over here, just doing like having that fade out. So yeah, that's that. The next layer here is actually just this extra little tom. So yeah, it's just this little bass tom. I've got it playing like pretty high, and it just kind of bounces off the kick. That's just going through a little bit of reverb with Valhalla Vintage Verb. Then we have underneath that, so this is just like our main hi-hat. You can hear the 3 layers kind of coming together really nicely. And then that's just got an EQ, which has a little bit of a low end, or a little bit of a high end boost, but then also that EQ kind of works as a low pass filter. And then I also have this washout here, which really just comes like in these build-ups. And yeah, so this sounds really just about layering. And then we have like the rest of our cymbals. You know, one of my shaker loops with this operator hi-hat, just adding a bit of noise there. We have our ride. We also have these shakers underneath, and you can kind of hear how that all comes together to create like a really full thing. And then we also have this little hi-hat, which you'll notice I saved that. That doesn't just come right at the beginning, or even like, you know, bar 33 or something. It's like we saved that for this kind of second main part here. So that has something new coming in, and it feels more fresh. And then on the group of those, it's just a high-end boost. And then this is actually the exact same washout and low-pass automation that you saw on the main hi-hat. And yeah, then we have kind of like our main synths. So here's the main lead, and the goal with this lead, I was trying to do like a hard melodic techno style lead, like the type of stuff you guys hear in a lot of my like faster videos, but kind of bringing it to a track like this. So this is like a very simple and kind of chaotic sounding lead, but it works really well, I think, because if you look at it, it's only 4 notes, right? It's just A, B, G, and F sharp. But then the way we're using those notes is interesting, like the call and response where you get the right, like kind of playing with those 2 little sequences there. And then the way over here, it's the same notes for the ending. But instead of going from G to F sharp, we go from F sharp to G. So it kind of, you know, it's just more simple, but it's like catchier this way. And yeah, and then for the sound, this one is made, you can ignore this pitch over here, but this one is made with analog. Now the key to this synth is it's 2 saw waves, but one of them has a pitch envelope going like that, like kind of going woo, like sliding up to the note, and one has a pitch envelope sliding down. So if I set the pitch envelopes to like the 0, like it's just normal, You can see it's not quite the same. So that actually goes a long way, I think, to make this a bit more interesting. And yeah, then we have a low pass filter, a little bit of an envelope. Got lots of filter frequency automation. I got the amp envelope like that. Bit of vibrato. A tiny amount of unison. I have Portal on here as well, which can be really useful to kind of get these more like warped synths. The key here is this is a preset, but I tweaked it a little, and then the dry wet, you really don't want that much of this. Like, if you put in too much, it can quickly go from being a lead to being more like a pad. So if you put it like that, we still get that nice like granular kind of textured delay. It's just not going to be so in your face. Then I just have a quarter note echo, a bit of amp which is blended in there. Here's without that. And then with it, you can hear that adds a lot of texture. We have a bit of reverb as well, which is pretty wet. High pass filter, low pass filter. Almost getting to the end of the chain here. I got the shaper box, which is just kind of making it sound like it's being sidechained to the kick. I have a compressor just to kind of flatten the sound out just a little bit more if I felt it needed. And the utility, which is just turning it up a little bit. And then finally just this washout, which just makes it disappear in certain places. So that's that main synth. Then we have these synths. So in this sequence, it's two synths playing one chord progression. We have the bass, and then the pad. But again, this is written as one part. Like when I wrote this, I just wrote it as one thing, and then you take it and split it afterwards. And you just get this really cool sound. And then it's also having different things happen. Like you notice here, the bass goes, but the lead goes. Like when the bass is going down, the lead is going up. Like that kind of thing happening there. And yeah, it's a pretty simple scale, but just kind of playing around, you know, within the confines of that. And then for the sounds, they're both pretty simple. This is just like a super saw made with wavetable. You can see it's just a saw wave and a square wave, detuned a little bit. And then we have this unison on the noise setting. And then just low pass filter to bring it in and out. High pass filter as well. And then we have for this one, this is made with Serum. So this is a pretty simple Serum patch. It's actually really similar to the respace that I showed you for the main bass. Right, where it's the saw wave, and then we have another saw wave with no unison to kind of give it the right sound. And there's a bit of automation on that low pass to bring it in. We also have a high pass filter kind of making it disappear. I have this EQ, which is cutting out the low frequencies that we wouldn't be hearing anyway. And then finally, the utility is converting the bass to mono so that it doesn't clash too much. Then we have the vocal. My eyes are open. My eyes are open. So yeah, these are just these different vocal samples. I believe these came from, well, I know this main one came from more of like a hard style, like hard trance type of pack. I think that kind of stuff can work really well in techno. Like I think it's really interesting to kind of bring that style of vocal. Like obviously we all know like it's a very powerful like trancey style vocal, but then bringing that into this big cosmic techno. And all we have for effects on that, it's just a bit of echo, just doing quarter notes. And then I have my width rack, which I used in the final track. But yeah, I just have this here. It's just a bit of multiband stereo widening basically. And yeah, then we just have actually this little like micro freak effect. So this was made with the synth I usually have right here. And then I'm actually kind of going through this Arturia, or no, excuse me, Eventide black hole plugin. What you can hear is just this amazing, like, big wash of reverb. And yeah, so we got that. And the other thing with this is I have it on this Beats warp mode. And I did like that, where you make it longer. So that's why you're kind of hearing that like glitch out. That's what's happening. And then just as a high pass filter, we have these, which are just like some nice strings I brought in. A little bit of compression and reverb and stuff. Got a washout automating on this one. Pretty simple. We have like this pad, which actually shout out to Biko on this one. This is actually from my track Hypnosis, which released at the end of last year, literally on Christmas, on 1605 with Biko. I used those pads again here. We just pitched them to the right key, and then you can see this bit of automation with the low pass filter. I also have the shaper box on there to make it kind of like a sidechain. Then we have the main bass lead. So here's the sound on this one. Essentially what's happening, I'm noticing now. So basically what it is just the same MIDI, like the same progression as this. And yeah, so you can hear I've just taken that, and then we're doing these like where it's bouncing up an octave every 16th note. And one very small detail is you see how we did the like all of these, it goes up, or it goes down and then up, but here it goes up and then down. So just kind of switching that to make a little bit more nuance there. But then for the sound on this one, so this is actually made with Anna. And I believe that this is a preset that I tweaked. You can see that little asterisk there. So it was probably just like a nice fat like kind of thing. Essentially for this type of bass, you just want like a big saw wave or like a pulse wave or something like that. So I've taken this preset and I tweaked it a bunch, probably opened up the filter a lot too. And then I multi-band distorted it. So here's without that. And with it. So you can hear that's pretty essential for getting that really big, crunchy kind of bass like you want. So what this is it's just the mids and highs are going through the saturator. We have just the mids going through this amp. And then the lows are clean. And the secret is having this top one go through the mids and highs. Because if I do just the highs for that one, you can see it's almost there, but then we turn that mid on. And that's that last bit of fullness that it needs. Then I just have the shaper box again. High pass filter, low pass, just bringing it out. And yeah, then other than that, like we have like some other stuff. Like this is actually a guitar I recorded into some of my pedals, which I can make a video about that if you guys want to see. Let me know. But basically I just recorded this little like interlude. I have some of these too. There's those, and then there's also this. Which all of these are just guitar. It's just me playing guitar into some pedals, which I'm recording into the interface, and then essentially just putting it into the track. And this can be really good. Now, of course, I'm trying to cover it up a little bit. This is techno. We're not going to just have like a whole guitar in there. But it's a really cool way to create some interesting background atmosphere. You know, it just sounds like a synth or something. And then, especially like these pads over here, I really like. And these pads are really essential in the break. So, again, it's just usually like recording something in out of the guitar and then chopping it and kind of making this interesting stuff. Then we have some stabs that I made down here. Which I made these by chopping up some audio and then processing it. We've also got this little vention space down there. So that's kind of like its own little groove. We have some more little sounds down here. And other than that, it's really just like all the little effects, right? Like all these different like sweeps, you know, 909 snare. Just all that kind of stuff. But other than that, it's going to be pretty simple. So yeah. So that is how I made my eyes. As usual, you can get the full project file, samples, MIDI, presets, every single thing from the track is available right at the top of the description on my Bandcamp. This really helps support me. If you guys enjoyed these videos, you enjoy my tracks, you want to see me keep going and keep bringing you guys new stuff every single day, definitely go grab this. Again, it's really a big support. Plus, this is a really professional sounding track that you can now have as a template and go and build your own tracks off of, and you know it works. And yeah, so thank you so much for the support, everybody. Again, if you haven't already, go pick up the track on Beatport as well. It's really, really big support. Let's run it up. Thank you for all the support, guys. I love you all, and I will see you tomorrow with another video.